Hey everyone, I'm Zach. Welcome to my channel, Zach Outside. This is my first video on the channel, so if you're here, thank you very much. So on my channel, I'm going to focus on backyard gardening techniques, specifically vertical gardening in both gutters and raised beds. So first off, I want to give you a tour of my setup. So I have a one fence south facing of about 100 feet of aluminum gutters, and then I have a 16 by 4 foot bed where I use to grow all my larger vegetables in the Atrium Phallus. I have another 12 by 4 bed along with another about 75 feet of smaller gutters on my east facing fence. Also, we have over here our rain barrel with our watering can and 2 compost bins. Specifically for our gutters here, we have 3 levels. These are large size aluminum gutters. They're 5 inches across the top, 4 inches tall, and 3 inches across on the bottom. So you can find these aluminum gutters pretty much anywhere, at any store, or you can find somebody selling them secondhand that they're taking off their house. It's pretty good for that. Basically, to install them on your fence, you're going to want to mark out an appropriate space, somewhere between 18 to 20 inches between each one is good. Mine are a little bit off here. What you want to do is install supports underneath the bottom to hold them up, and then you need the hangers. So you can buy the hangers, and they come specifically for these types of aluminum gutters like this. So you install them every so often into your gutters. What you can also do to install them is use, like I have here, these tie wraps. So you just drill holes or put holes every so often, put a tie wrap and drill a hole into your fence, and you hang them that way. That works really well. I know one question that'll come up is what you do about the ends of your eaves trough. So you could buy the expensive end caps at the store. They cost you almost as much as a full length of the gutters themselves. So this is what I've done. So I've taken a piece of landscape fabric and just cut it to the size of the hole, wrapped it around the hanger that I've used. And what you do is you just set it there so that it hangs down and that there's enough for the soil to sit on it, and then you just fill your soil. So what that does is it allows water to drain out the end, as well as allows air into your roots. So that's a really cheap, cost-effective way to put end caps on your gutters. Now let's talk about filling up your gutters. So what you need is a medium for your plants to grow in. What I use is a soilless growing medium, like this here. This is a Sunshine Mix #1 from Sungrow Horticulture. You can get it at any larger garden center, garden store. And so it's a soilless, so it's a mix of peat moss, perlite, and vermiculite. So what you want to do is lay out a large amount of this. So this is what I had from my previous gutters, so I pulled it all out. So the purpose of pulling it all out is because there's no soil, there's not a lot of nutrients in this. So what you need to do is you need to add some nutrients. And for that, I use this. So this is Actual Pure Hen Manure Multi-Purpose Fertilizer. It's a fairly specialty product, but several garden stores do carry it. What it is 100% chicken manure compressed into pellet form. Grab some here. Show it to you. So this here is the pellets themselves. So what you want to do is you want to mix a liberal amount of this in with your growing medium. To do that, I use this little container here. It's about probably a liter to a liter and a half. Yogurt containers also work great. So all you do is you fill up your container. Don't worry about spilling it, because it's on your tarp for that reason. And then just shake it over your pile. built in with it also. And then just take a shovel or a spade or anything really, just mix it in well. But so you want to put about 3 liters for every, I don't know, whatever this would be, 100 liters of stuff. So that'll give you a good fertilizer rate when you go to plant your plants in them. I've added 6 of these things of the fertilizer to our pile. So you want to have it mixed up like I've done already, so that when you take a handful of it and show it, you can see that there's a whole bunch of the fertilizer mixed well through it. Hopefully you can see that. So the next step after you do that is you want to make sure that it's all broken up, obviously, before it goes in the gutters. And then you want to wet it. So you want to get it quite wet so that when you put it in the gutters, it's already pre-wetted, everything from the top to bottom is pretty even. So what I do is just take a watering can and start watering. And don't worry, you can't make it too wet. It will eventually dry out. And there's lots of soil here, so I'll use about this whole thing, 12 liters or so of water. And then you just, once it's pretty wet, just grab your shovel, mix it up. And then if it still looks damp, go ahead and water it some more. It might take a fair amount of water. With this peat moss, it holds a lot of water, and if it's pretty dried out, like it is typically in the bales when you first get them, then you're going to require quite a bit of water to get it hydrated enough before it goes in the gutters. So I've now thoroughly wetted my mixture. You can see that it's a nice dark brown now, where it was a lighter, much lighter brown before. And also you can tell because all of the fertilizer we use is actually puffed up to about twice the size and starting to break down when you put your fingers through it. So I use approximately 40 liters of water on this amount, so you're looking at around 20 liters of water per 100 liters of mixture. And once you have this done, we're ready to start putting it into the gutters. And so to fill your gutters, all you do is just grab a bucket and start filling it up. Shovel your mixture into your bucket so that it's a manageable weight for yourself. I can do a pretty full bucket. And handy tip is just to put it in the middle of your pile, so if any falls outside of it, it just falls right back into your pile. Now we're ready to fill our gutters. So taking the same bucket, little bucket that we use for our fertilizer, and you just scoop up a bucket of it, and then you start just laying it into your gutters. So what you want to do, be careful at the beginning here where you're up against your fabric for your end caps. But it's pretty simple. Just go along, lay a bunch in, and then it didn't take very long at all to fill it all up. Alright, so now I have that much filled up. You see all the way back to our 4-foot mark here. So the important thing is that you mound up your soil in your gutters when you're first putting it in. That's because over time it's going to settle. When you mix it up, add lots of air pockets in. As you water it, as it sits there, those air pockets are going to compress, and then your levels are going to drop fairly substantially. So be fairly careful not to put too much on the ground, otherwise you're wasting it. But you want to have it very full so that it looks like there's way too much. And don't worry, as I said, it is going to compress so that this mound, as you see here, does not exist anymore. And as you're doing this, you can also give it a little pat down to help with the compression thing, but don't push on it. Just a light little pat is all you need. Otherwise, if you push on it, it compresses too much air, and then that's bad for your roots. So then once you have it all mounded up nice and round like this, what you're going to do is take your watering can and just water it in, so that'll help with that compression and just get it to its normal state that much quicker. So there we go. That's how you fill up a gutter. So as I said, it's going to settle and it'll compress. So in 3 to 4 days, you want to come check it again and see how much it's settled. And at that point, you're going to want to level it up right to the top with more of your mixture. So that is installing, filling, making mix, as well as filling up your gutters so that you can grow vegetables in them all summer long. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me a like, thumbs up, follow me on Instagram at ZachOutside, and leave me a comment if you want more. If you want to see something else, let me know what you want to see and I'll make sure that I include it in future videos. Thank you so much.